Hello all! So hopefully you watched the longer video. This is actually a really meaty one, one that I'm excited about. With this video we're going to be talking about investing and investments. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, my name is Luz Gonzalez. Hopefully you've followed some of the other videos, and this is Matt Gore, and he's my friend. He's a financial advisor, beyond that financial a fiduciary, which matters, and you should check out our other videos for that. So with this video, we're going to be talking about investments, and especially if you're a beginner, if you're just starting to invest, how does one think about investing without getting overwhelmed? So Matt, how do we think about investments, and then where do we get started, and what are some good best practices to follow?
Right. I think the first thing to think about before you start investing is, have you balanced your budget out? Are you making a positive amount of money each month? And do you have an emergency savings account already?
Watch out.
Right,
There's
so
another video for that.
Right, check that out. So you want to make sure you're not investing too soon. And then if you start amassing a big pile of cash in a savings account, you know what to do with it. Now's probably a good time to start investing.
Although by too soon, if you're younger, you actually should start investing, because the whole compound interest will help you if
right.
those other things are in order.
Right on. So I've talked to a lot of people. I've gone to a lot of seminars on that intro to investing, and what I see time and again is people making it very complicated. They want to get into a lot of detail on analyzing stocks and analyzing a big set of bonds or something like that. It's actually not very complicated. The trick to getting started with investing is to get a very diversified portfolio very quickly, and you can do that very cheaply by buying what are called index funds. There's a lot of companies that will sell you these index funds, which are designed to mirror...
What's an index fund?
They're designed to mirror the whole market. For example, Vanguard, which is a company I like a lot, has one fund that is designed to mirror the total world market. Wealthfront and Betterment are also companies that I like, and they have even more diversified portfolios that allow you to buy stocks and bonds and commodities like oil and gold, all sorts of things with just one account. You put in, say, $500, and you immediately are getting these very fractional dollars in all sorts of different investments. There's no reason early on to consider individual stocks, individual bonds. Look out for these index funds with companies like Vanguard, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and so on.
So there are long-time investors and big players in the space like Warren Buffett who talk about index funds, and they say that, like, if you are not a professional investor and investing isn't what you do 100% of your of your professional time, of your time, you really should, you kind of have no business in investing. And like, this is just what he said. You can decide what to do with it. But if your 9 to 5 is not investing, you should be investing in an index fund, and not necessarily just thinking that you know how to invest. There are people out there who are investing, and they have like nanoseconds that this is how they do their trades. And so for the like normal average investor, you don't have that benefit. So it's just something for you to know and to have on your radar.
Right, and look at the big picture. Lots of people have studied investor performance with amateur investors and professional investors versus these index funds. The average investor doesn't even come up to what the market is doing. The average person is losing money versus the market. Professional managers tend to be a little bit better than what the market is on average, but those investors aren't going to work for free. They want you to pay them fees in order to manage your money.
So fees. Let's talk about fees, and why are fees important when we think about investments?
Sure. If we think about those professional managers, once you account for fees, only 10% of them are giving their clients a better return than the market. 90% of them are giving their clients no better or worse than a market return. The number one predictor of how well you're going to do in the broad market is those expenses and those fees that you're paying. That's the number one thing.
And so I think this is heartbreaking, and when I read about it, I was really angry. So when it comes to 401ks, a lot of people think that, like, okay, if I have a 401k, I'm taken care of, I'm good to go. And what people don't know is that with their 401ks, often the fees that are being charged in terms of managing the money are so high that you're not getting the return on your money that you would expect and you would want. And people just have no idea. And so know about the fees that you're being charged in any investments that you're making.
Right.
If you're not a professional investor, you should be looking at index funds. And then, Matt, talk about compound interest. How does it work?
Sure.
How should people think about it?
So compound interest is the idea that you are earning interest on interest you've already earned. So you start off with $100, you have a 10% interest rate. In year one, you'll have 110. 10% of 100 is 10, plus your principal, 110. The next year, you're not going to earn another 10, you're going to earn 11. 10% of 110 is 11. And you're going to keep earning more and more and more over time. This means two things. One is get in the market at all, and you're going to have some kind of return that beats, say, your savings account. The other thing that matters is start early. The earlier that you're able to invest, the more that you'll be able to take advantage of compound interest.
Yeah, so they've actually looked at two people starting with the same amount of money, but just at different ages. And so somebody starts when they're like 20, 22, and somebody starts when they're 30, 33, whatever that might be. And they start with the same amount of money, but like the amount of money that they actually end up with, it's a huge difference.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's the idea of the time value of money. You start off as early as you possibly can. You'll come out.
So if you're younger, if you are in your teens, if you are in your early 20s, start investing. If you have no loans, if you've paid off those over 4% loans, start investing. Even if it's just a little bit of money, it'll make a difference. So again, if you're a teen, if you are in your early 20s, start investing. Even if you're not, you should start investing again, given that you've paid off those loans that are over the 4%. If you have under the 4%, you should start investing. And then in general, we've talked about some of the general investment best practices. And again, Matt, if you could cover the best practices, they would be?
Yeah. Get index funds. Try to reduce the number of fees that you're paying. And look out for some of these companies that we like a lot. Vanguard, Fidelity, you can get these funds. Wealthfront and Betterment at low cost can diversify you even more. And
again, just as a reminder, we said this in other videos, we don't work with any of these companies. We are not being paid or anything by them. This is just a conversation that Matt and I are having just based on our own experiences and Matt's professional training. So hoping that this can be empowering for you and that this can give you a place to start. All right, well, thank you all, and check out our other videos. If you want to reach out to me, just comment to this video. You can also find me on Facebook, Lucy Gonzalez, and then on just through my personal website, lucygonzalez.com, and then Matt.
Find me at mjgoren@gmail.com.
All right, thank you, everyone. There's a lot more videos for you to check out. Really good stuff. Bye-bye.